Hi, Mike. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. We do have one addition, which is the moderate income housing letter of support that Glenn has asked to be added. I saw it in your email today, I think. So if we could add that under G6, under new business. We'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion passes. Next is the consent agenda. Any changes or questions on the minutes from last meeting? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second. It's been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion passes. Next is public comment. Is there anybody here that'd like to speak to something that's not on the agenda? Okay, if you could step to the mic and state your name and address for us, please.
My name's Ross Dunton. My residence is the old motel. I read in the newspaper that the reason the city of Baldwin bought the property was due to safety issues. I would like to ask for either fire department inspection reports or health department inspection reports, because I even talked with Tracy, the lady that owns the hair salon, who's been there since 2001. She's never been inspected. I've been there since February. I've never been inspected. The other tenants in the building that I've talked to have never been inspected. Aaron, who used to own the tire shop, I spoke with him. He's never been inspected. My other concern is, after seeking legal counsel, is the first basically get out notice from Les Foster was handed to me September 2nd. They stating I had to be out by October 9th. Well, by Kansas statute, if I paid my rent on the 1st of September, he has to give me until November 1st. He can't give me a 30-day notice until the 1st of October. Well, a contract that I read in the newspaper had you guys close on the 27th of October. Well, being that you are the new owners, it would have to be the city of Baldwin then that evicts me. So, I'm just wondering what's going on. Evidently, the city of Baldwin didn't check into, tenant laws before they made an offer to Les to buy the building. One thing I also wanted to mention is there's been 2 eviction notices given. The first one was backdated, big no-no. He dated it August 25th. From what I'm reading, you came to an agreement at the city council meeting of September 1st, 2 weeks ago. So I'm having a lot of issues that you're saying you brought her because of safety issues. That's the main thing. Who inspected the place? What safety issues? That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you, Ross.
And I'd like to add that to further meetings because, something's going wrong here.
Okay. Anybody else like to speak to something that's not on the agenda? All right. Next is new business, West Water Tank, water mixer. Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. I've asked Jim Jackson to join us this evening. Jim is with Suez, who is contracted by the city of Baldwin to inspect and maintain our water towers. I've spoken to some of you in various committees about the issues, the fading chlorine issues we're experiencing in our West Tower. I wanted to give you just a short history of what led up to this, at least as much as I can give you during my tenure as the Public Works Director. So in June of 2019, I noticed that the West Tower began losing chlorine. Normally, both the North Tower and the West Tower run between 3.3 and 3.7 total chlorine. The West Tower was slipping. It went from 2.8, 2.5, 2.3, 2.0, and keep in mind, this is the exact same water from the exact same source. It was a real head scratcher. The north tower remained steady. The west tower consistently was fading and losing chlorine. When the west tower hits 1.8, we start flushing hydrants in West Baldwin. That usually buys us about a week of time. That brings the levels back up to 2.5, 2.6, but they immediately start slipping again. I called Jim Jackson to see if they had any thoughts. Suez came in late June 2019 and did a visual inspection of the tower and found no issues. We started to check internally to be sure it wasn't an analyzer or a SCADA issue. We did that by randomly sampling various parts of town. And West Baldwin, areas directly fed by West Baldwin, the system chlorine was notably less. And so we knew that it's something tied to that tower. It was not a SCADA issue. July of 2019, same issue continues. This time we pulled the plug and actually drained the tower. Let it set for a day, refilled it. This solved the problem for about a month, and then the same pattern returned. I sent a couple of screenshots to Laura for your council packets. This is one page of several off of our SCADA system that I watch, and I brought it with me. Can we put those up, Laura? And so I went ahead and made a call to KDHE. I needed some help and some guidance on this. I didn't know what to do, what was causing it. So they said, you know, we've seen this before. Get in touch with the guy in Lawrence Water Department. And so I did. I called him, spoke to him. He said, yeah, it's fairly common. They had one of several towers up in Lawrence that had the same issue. I also reached out to Clifford Rouge of Douglas County Rural 4. Apparently also, they were struggling with chlorine in the exact same time of the year. Both of these water utilities, large water utilities, so it's nothing common to Baldwin. So at least I knew it's something out there. So I asked them, both of them, I said, how did you fix the problem? Both of them said we ended up putting mixers in our tanks. This is when I started talking about water stratification. I mentioned to you, a few of you in the committee meetings. September of 2019, I had to drain the tower again. Suez returned and did chemical wash on the inside of the tower. This solved the problem for the remainder of 2019 up till June of 2020. The same symptoms reappeared this summer. So far this year, I've drained and flushed the tower twice and flushed hydrants in West Baldwin numerous times. This is absolutely tied to ambient temperature, as we don't see these issues in the winter, spring, or fall months. And I'll just add that I have ran thousands of dollars worth of water down the ditch trying to stay ahead of this and limp along. Not to mention the fact, as I've said to some of you, it's a constant worry. I mean, I'm constantly watching this. I've got it on my phone. I've got it up on my computer at my house. I watch it in my office. I reached out to Jim Suez again and I said, can you get me on one of these jet mixers? Let's see what they run. And he's here tonight. He brought one with him, and we're asking City Council to consider purchasing a jet mixer for the West Tower to solve this issue.
Rob, before he shows that or whatever, I just have a couple questions. How much does it cost us in water each time you have to drain the water tower and fill it back up? Do you
So
know?
we isolate the West Tower, we take it out of the loop. I pull it down as far as I dare, which is 8-9 feet. That's probably still 150,000 gallons, 20%. You figure 10 cents a gallon, that's $15,000.
Each time we have to flush it and fill it back up. Okay.
What you're seeing up here is one of two. And if I can step up to the screen, I'll show you what I mean. This is the second one. Do you have the other one, Laura?
Yep.
So this has been, this is August 15th. I just picked a period of time and pulled up a couple of screenshots. So I had just flushed the tower here. So you can see, if you put these side by side like I've got them here, you can just draw a line and just watch the chlorine level fall. Just slowly and steadily falls. Can you go back to the other one? And, you know, right about here, 2.5, 2.3. The tower's at about 2.3 today. That's not what's on the system, that's what's at the tower. So we check, I have them check West Baldwin every day. I have them pull a hydrant, give me a test. It was 1.8, 1.79, 1.8 today. I flushed hydrants already. I'm gonna have to pull the plug on this tomorrow and drain it. That's the only way to get ahead of it. That should buy us enough time now. We're in so far into September. I'm hoping with the cooler temperatures, that should get us through the rest of the winter. So again, same scenario. We'll shut it off early in the morning. I've got the pump set not to kick on tonight, so it'll draw it way down. But there still is a cost attached to doing this.
And so in the last year, this will be the third time,
Third time
essentially,
this summer. Yes.
that we've drained it.
Yes.
And how much are one of these machines?
32,000.
So two times of draining the tower and it's paid for. Right? Essentially. Okay.
And Jim, like he brought one so that you guys can actually see what they look like, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about them and how they work. They have what he quoted here is a 115 volt AC unit. They also have a solar powered unit. It's significantly higher than you use more in the rural areas where electricity is not available. We do have electricity right here in this building, so it would be an easy to get as far as the electricity goes. This is a scaled down version that they use for trade shows. The one we would use in our tank would be significantly larger than that, but it's going to be the exact same style.
I'm going to talk a little bit here. No drought for a long time. I used to work for Kansas Municipal Utilities before, and well, winded myself there. But one of the things I always hate is to have people spend money if it's not going to fix the problem. So I visited with the manufacturer, and if this doesn't work, we'll either give you a 31 to make sure it works, or we'll buy it back. So there'd be no cost for you guys on it. So another thing is we can split these costs between 2 years. So if you want to do it, we can do half now. If it works, the other half next year. If it doesn't work, we'll figure it out or refund the half. So.
Okay.
We have a maintenance agreement with Suez, so we pay them an amount annually to do inspections and do maintenance on the tower. So we could just, basically, we could add this on to next year's premium if we wanted to.
What's the average lifespan of one of these?
The warranty on this is 3 years. We had one up at a tank in Baser, there for Leavenworth Consolidated 1. It lasted 12 years.
Okay.
They can be placed under a maintenance plan too, so if it does fail, automatically get a new one. So.
Thank you.
So what's the science behind why this solves the problem?
What you currently have in there is kind of a passive mixing system. We call it kind of that duckbill. So when your tank's filling, it's putting the water to the top of your tank. When you're not filling, it's pulling from the bottom. So that water just kind of sits there. What this does is always mixing. So that water is always mixing in there. So you don't get those layers of stratification. Especially in the summertime, the temperature in the top of that tank, it's extremely hot. When it does, the chlorine basically burns off. So,
Is the North Tower filled the same way, or why isn't it happening there?
The only thing that I can figure, Scott, is it fills the North Tower first. and then the altitude valve closes, and it sends, basically it's sending all the old water from the north one to the west end of town, which isn't helping any. And then it fills, and so that's the only thing I can figure that's
So
going
it's
on.
preheated potentially.
The water age, I think, is playing.
Yeah, okay. It's just kind of weird because a chemical scrub solved it for a while, which doesn't intuitively think that it's an ambient temperature problem. It's almost like there's a tank problem, but,
That's what we keep coming back to. It's like there's something in this tank.
Right.
There's something in this tank, and so, like I said, they did a drain down, they did a dry inspection, they did a wet inspection, and then the third time, they actually did the chemical wash, and I thought we got it.
Yeah.
You know, it's great, and had no problems the rest of the year, but it was also late in the fall. So, you know, then it starts back again in June,
Right.
and I'm thinking, oh no, you know, here we go again. Not this.
Yeah.
And I know we ran a lot of water on the ground trying to fix it, but we wanted to make sure we were on the right track, and that's all I can do. I mean, we can only let it drop so low. We can't, it's our drinking water, you know, we have to be careful.
Glenn, did we check with Baker Tilly on the cost of this and if the waterfront can handle
Yeah,
it
we have enough in our water fund to purchase this.
in the reserves?
Yeah, our water fund has over $500,000 in cash right now.
Okay.
So you got a 3-year warranty on them, but when they do break, is this, I mean, it's always gonna be a problem. Kansas ain't getting any colder.
This, I mean, it'll run during the wintertime too.
Okay,
Some people will tell you it will eliminate ice, it may reduce it. It's not
moving
gonna
water
eliminate-
versus, yeah,
Some people will tell you the mixer will eliminate ice in your tank, there's no way. I mean, it will help reduce ice that could build up in there, but it's not gonna eliminate it, but I mean, it'd be running 24/7, 365, so.
okay. Well, your company repairs this piece of machinery?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that what people typically do? They, about 5-6 years kind of wear out and then you replace some parts in them and keep them going kind of thing? Or?
Some like Leavenworth up there, Leavenworth One, the rural water, they actually put it under the maintenance plan along with their tank. So every year we come in, we'll inspect everything on it, the control panels. In their case, the company done away with the model from 12 years ago, so they actually got a bigger and better unit as a replacement. So I mean, if
Okay.
it does fail, it's automatically replaced.
What does that maintenance plan look like as far as cost?
Do what?
Annual cost of the maintenance plan?
I'd have to get it, I didn't look at that because my first thought was, I want to make sure that we can fix the problem.
Sure.
Before we do that, so, I mean, I can get that worked up and give it to Rod.
Okay.
I'm guessing this is something that can't be done quick enough to alleviate us having to drain our tank.
That has to be done tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, I can't let that go on any farther. We would have done it today, but there was just too much water in the tank that, we need to pull it down as far as we can.
Okay. Any more questions from the council?
So how long does it take to install that?
This actually, in here, actually just drops in from your hatch. So, I mean, once the tank's filled back up, what we'll do is we'll get it up on the roof and we'll spray it all down with the chlorine bleach. And then it'll be just lowered into your tank. This one here is just kind of will float in there. I mean, it'll go down, we'll keep it up from the bottom. That way if there's ever any sediment, we're not stirring stuff up. So it's kind of floating a little bit in the water, not clear at the bottom. But it is designed, to keep that water moving so you don't have those issues. So.
Does the cord come out of the hatch or does it come through the water tank?
The cord will come out of the hatch,
Okay.
and then we'll power it down, and the city will have a control box
Cool.
at the ground. They can tie into their telemetry that says if it's working, not working, whatever.
Right.
And that's another thing too, we asked them to do is actually come back and test this. Let's pull samples every so many feet of chlorine and temperature, and let's make sure it's doing its thing.
So the buyback, is that for the next year then?
Right.
If we can't fix your problem, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna see a whole lot between now and.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, is we're running the colder month, so we're not gonna have any problems till next June, July.
Yeah, I mean, if this time next year, if we haven't fixed it, you guys say, hey, we're done, we'll buy it back, so.
At the same cost that we paid? Okay.
Yep.
How much bigger is our model versus this one?
Yours will stand maybe about 3 or 4 inches taller, and it probably weighs about 5 to 10 pounds more. It's a half horsepower motor in there. Basically, the water is just sucked up through here and through the top. I don't know if you can see there.
Oh, yeah, gives it a little circulation.
Yeah, kind of a little vortex, and then, right on up through. These work real good on real water districts that have standpipes, real tall and thin. It really helps there too, so.
Any other questions from the council? All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Any other comments from citizens in the room? All right, council discussion? Well, it seems like a no-brainer to me.
I appreciate the offer, the buyback. If it doesn't fix it, then
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a little easier of a decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was already a no-brainer, but with the buyback option, it's,
Seems to
Something
be
we have
safe.
to keep our eye on in the future, though, planning
right,
to replace, so.
Right.
yeah.
But, the mayor made the point of you drain it twice, and it's already
already
the cost
paid
of the
for,
mixer, so.
Yeah, and we talked about it in budget committee, and ran it by Baker Tilly, and they seemed like it was a
Okay.
pretty good deal to do.
Good.
Rob, did you have?
We can split this over the next 2 years too. So, I mean, it wasn't budgeted, and I know it's mid-year, late in the year to bring a big purchase like this forward, but, we might as well take advantage of that since they're offering it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could make a motion to, purchase it over the next 2 years, and then that doesn't take up that much of our cash.
I don't see an alternative. I think we need to do something. So.
Yeah.
I agree.
With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to accept the purchase of a PAC submersible active mixing system for the amount of $32,967 over the next 2 years.
Second.
So moved in second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Next item is council committee reassignments. Due to a couple of requests, we're going to switch up some committees here. Budget and finance does not change. Community development, I'm proposing Corey as the chair, Susan as co-chair. Public safety, Susan as chair, Julie as co-chair. Public works and utilities, the only change is Julie as the chair and Brian as co-chair. And in legislative committee, Brian is the chair and Scott remains as co-chair. So, if nobody has any objections, I'll entertain a motion for those changes.
I'll move we accept the council committee appointments as suggested by the mayor.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the CDBG CV funding for Arrowhead Hardware. I think the application's in your packet. Laura, do you have anything to add to this at all?
No, he actually is our first applicant that went over the approved amount of $30,000. So he has everything in, and after it goes to the council, then it'll go back to the state to do the environmental clearance. I received one more application this week, so word is getting out.
How much funding do we have left after this one, roughly?
I did put that in your packet.
Yeah, I saw that.
$63,548.17.
After this one? Or before?
Yes.
Okay.
This one and Elite Chiropractic. Didn't have to bring the second round to the council because you already approved an amount up to. And so they put in for $16,851.64. So after these two,
then we'll have some, a little over
And
six.
then we have $63,548.17.
Okay.
Thanks for doing that ledger with the amount.
You are most welcome.
Is there any community members here who'd like to speak to this agenda item? Any further council discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve Arrowhead Hardware for a CB grant up to $30,000 subject to environmental clearance.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next is the Harding rezone. Ed, are you gonna present this, or is the applicant?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Russ Harding, P.O. Box 975, Baldwin City, Kansas, 66006. As you know, in your package, you got for lot rezone from R1 being to R2, which basically means single family to basically build a duplex. I'm here to answer any questions or concerns with this rezone.
Any questions for the applicant?
Is this the only area that has that zoning? I mean, is it,
No, there's areas throughout the town.
well, that I mean,
Community.
in that area that you're talking about?
This lot, no. There's other lots right across the street and right next door to it that's already rezoned for the
I
townhouses.
assume that's what the two R2s to the north are
Yeah.
already zoned that way?
Correct.
And the one in question's the hatched mark?
Yeah, the one,
East.
there should be one right to the east of this one.
Yep.
And then right to the west would be,
Okay. And is there any limitations on the number, the multi-resident dwelling? I mean, is it,
they can only build a townhouse.
okay,
They can't build like a triplex or a
Okay.
fourplex or anything like that with an R2 zoning.
thanks.
Any questions for the applicant? Thank you, Russ.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Council discussion?
Was this on the one for the planning commission, or is this?
Yeah.
Okay. I would assume it had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the ordinance 1424, Harding rezone.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Scott?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Brian? Aye. Susan?
Aye.
Corey?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is the alley easement agreement, Casey's Convenience Store and Fuel Station. Ed, you wanna talk to this, I guess?
This is an alley easement brought forth by Casey's. Just to let you know, last Tuesday night, Casey's was approved in the development plan with 11 conditions. Or that part of the project is to have the alley easement agreement. Basically, that's agreement between the city and the applicant to approve it. They're going to pave it. They will maintain it. Our existing sewer line that's underneath, if we ever need to get access to it, we could break up the concrete, they will replace it. It's just formalizing the additional alley as part of their circulation plan. If you're familiar with Casey's and any of our developments along Highway 56, it's only 140 feet. And with today's land use, especially a gas station, it makes it very difficult to have a decent circulation plan. So for them as a big corporation, they saw that we had an alley. The alley will still function as any other alley we have in the city. It's just they're going to improve it and they'll maintain it. So for us, it just made a lot of sense in order to do so. We also have protected the residents to the south. The alley will be striped and posted so that if somebody parks there, we can ticket that, just like we would do in any other alley in the city. So it makes sense, it works for better circulation for the new Casey's, and also the residents to the south have a better access to the garages they have in the rear.
Any questions for Ed on this agenda item? All right, thank you, Ed. Any comments from the public? No. Council discussion? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move we approve the alley easement agreement with Casey's Retail Company.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item is the moderate income housing letter of support. This is for the support of the county's application for the moderate housing grant. Correct, Glenn?
That's correct. Yeah, sorry about the late notice. I just got that right before 5 o'clock and I noticed they just sent me even a better version of that letter. But anyway, yeah, that was my short, quick one here this afternoon. But we've been working with the committee with the county. It actually wants to apply for the moderate income housing grant that's available. It's about $2 million statewide. We're applying for $400,000 in the county, which basically means Eudora and Baldwin City. So we would split that. And basically what it is, it's making basically a subsidy. It'll reduce a new home down about $40,000 to make it affordable for somebody who will fall into that moderate income. We've been working with the county. We've been working with Habitat for Humanity, and there's another organization called Tenants to Homeowners that'll be involved in this. We got our eye on about 5 lots here in Baldwin City that would be eligible. They're ready to be purchased, and then basically it's a way to subsidize. And the county is actually going to contribute $20,000 into the project this year too. So this is a combination effort between Baldwin City and Eudora. We would split $400,000 if we're successful. So they're looking for a letter of support that would actually go to the county commission, which will consider this at their meeting tomorrow afternoon. And then I believe the deadline is like the 28th of September. So sorry to get it to you late, but they did understand the way our meetings, we don't meet every week like the county commission does. So I alerted them that we only had one more meeting left in September, and that was tonight. So we cobbled together the letter, so that's what you see in front of you. But that's basically what the program is. It's a way to bring moderate income housing, which we dearly need in Baldwin City. We have some high-end housing that's on the market for about 24 hours and it's gone. That middle income housing isn't really here at all. We don't really have much of that at all. So under $200,000. The current housing market shows that if you're building a new house, really the average home here is selling for over $200,000, and that's out of reach for the moderate income people. So we were successful with this program about 6 years ago, and we were funded, and we did a little bit different. It was for down payment assistance, and we can do that again, but I think there's another way to actually help people purchase a home and move into it that way than just do the down payment assistance. So there's a lot of moving parts of this that I didn't touch on with folks at the county level with Habitat for Humanity and Tenants to Homeowners, but I won't bore you with all those details. We can bore you with that once we get the grant. I'll be more than happy to do that at that point, and I'm going to stay optimistic. I think we'll have a real strong application because it shows that the county, the 2 cities here in Douglas County are working together in this joint application. We both have this need for moderate income housing in Douglas County. It's a crying need across the state. I wish they had more than $2 million, but that's all they have. And that's about all they have every year with every grant cycle that they do. So they can hand these grants out left and right all over the state. The money would go quickly. So this will be heavy competition. I like the way we structured this, and I really appreciate the county's effort to step up here and work with the 2 smaller cities in the county and help us get this going forward. So is that clear? Did I confuse everybody to the point where, anyway, it's just a letter of support. We don't even do the resolution. That'll be done at the county level. So there really isn't anything for us to do other than support this application. They're writing the application for us.
there any questions for Glenn on this?
Comments?
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve a letter of support for the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation grant via Douglas County.
Have you moved?
I'll second it.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item is council committee reports, budget and finance. Scott.
I am ready for this one. No report. Next scheduled meeting is the 25th at 7:45 a.m.
Community development, Susan.
So the Bauer Community Center Advisory Committee will be presenting to the school board at their meeting on the 21st. The purpose is just to inform and educate them as part of our continued community outreach efforts. And yesterday, Corey and I met with Paul Dorothy to look at some land near the Intermediate Center for a potential dog park. We both agreed it would be a great location. The next step is to get school board approval. I will be out of town, but Corey is going to also attend that meeting and ask for approval. Paul Dorothy mentioned like $1 a year lease. So I think it would be a pretty low-cost amenity we could add to town. So depending on how that meeting goes, there may be further council discussion.
Public safety, Corey.
Let's see, we met a couple Tuesdays ago. What's that?
Great report.
Yeah, good city. And we adjourned.
Great meeting.
No, actually, it was kind of a lively one. We had a couple issues coming out of the Orchard Lane apartments over there. There were some concerns about some balls on the 6th fairway from the golf course hitting some of their vehicles over there. And
Scott's been golfing again.
Scott's Glenda was the citizen. She joined us and was brought up some very good points. And Paul Vandertag of the Baldwin Golf Association was also there, and we kind of brainstormed some ideas about how to maybe alleviate some of those problems, hopefully eliminate those problems. Talked with Rob about the potential of maybe getting some 25-foot utility poles, and the city putting those in, and maybe the BGA supplying some kind of a net, and seeing if slow down the balls and keep them from hitting the vehicles over there. Just kind of look into that and explore maybe some solutions. There were also some weed overgrowths at the east and west entrance of that trail, the sidewalk going into the golf course there. And the city acted real quick and got all that trimmed out of there too. It was real great. And then we just had some discussions about the MPO, the future phases of the sidewalks going in, and I think we kind of all come to the conclusion that 11th Street is kind of on our radar for maybe one of the next ones there. Discuss which side of 11th Street, either the west or east side. Ed had mentioned that kind of they both could be viable options. So some further discussion there for sure, but I think that's basically all we got. Next meeting is second Tuesday in October, which is the 13th at 4.
FYI, Susan.
Susan,
You won't be there.
Hey, question on the golf.
Yeah.
Has the Baldwin Golf Association been made aware of the issue? I mean, are they involved in?
Yeah, Paul was there.
Okay, so he was, okay.
Yeah, I reached out to Andy Parks, and he passed it on and had mentioned it to everyone else there as well. And they had some discussion among themselves, and they think that they might be able to probably provide some kind of a netting if we can kind of collaborate on it.
Okay, I missed that part when you talked about, Rob.
Right, yeah, Paul, it's not Paul in there, yeah.
It's like, okay.
We're still thinking about all those other balls.
Yeah.
I didn't put my name on any of it. It is the golfer's responsibility to,
You need to go
reliable.
That's right, that's right.
Go, but still, you want to avoid the accident if you can have it.
Sure.
Prevent it, so I get it.
Sure, it's out of my driving range, but so I'm off the hook.
I hope all of this is in the minutes.
Don't mention of Casey the golf, but
You don't have to worry about my balls going that far.
Second shot.
Yeah.
You do it.
More like fourth or fifth. Public Works and Utilities, Brian.
No report. You saw the mixer. I don't think we've met since the last meeting, so
Legislative Committee. Julie?
I don't have any report, but I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Susan for her photo on the cover of the Uniform Public Offense Code.
Right on.
That was awesome.
I thought that was pretty cool, as a city councilwoman.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to have long discussions about that book that went on for
Right.
like a month or so,
One.
it's important.
All right, city administrative staff comments. Glenn, you got anything more? I think we kind of went over the CDBG.
Just one thing.
Great.
The fountain's working.
Oh, there you go.
That is important.
Good.
That is very important.
Our folks at Public Works there, Rob got it back on, and they notified us today, it's operating once again, so,
Timely as usual.
absolutely. So, there you go.
All right.
Wicked neat.
Are you guys going to play off each other?
Yes, no. Well, we do that, we practice all day. The new flags are in just in time for the unveiling.
Good.
The Rising,
Awesome.
Friday.
We'll be passing those out to council members as soon as that unveiling happens.
Sounds good. All right, any council comments? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion we adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion passes, we are adjourned.